days, so we're with Nova and her litter. They're 1 day of age, and we have 5 females, 1 male. And everything went very, very smoothly, and straight away we're into handling the puppies. And as a breeder, pedigree breeder, what we've got to look at is the standard. So we're looking at the morphology, so when we're doing our selection, etc., etc., what we're trying to do is produce consistency. And we're straight away into our handling. And the reason we're doing this is because when we look at our standard, we go down our standard and we look at utilisation, blah blah blah. It is the only herding dog in Group 1 that underutilisation comes in as a family pet. Which means, in reality, that we should be a little bit low on the excitement level, not so high up. And that means, and in general they are. Yeah, I don't think the BERGER BLANC is anywhere near a Malinois and things like that. But to ensure, we start our handling. We try and get a consistency going. We do our selection, which is based upon, we're looking at the dog, we're basing it on the morphology and on the movement. It's a herding dog, so movement, of course, is very, very important. That's what herding dogs do, they move. But we have to live with the temperament of the dog, so we work very hard on the handling, and we start right at the beginning, day 1, handling the dog, getting them used to being manipulated. That excitement level, the dog is getting used to, straight away, handling that excitement level. And I'm going to put down, you're going to see some adult dogs now. And those dogs are going to show you the consistency of the methodology we're using. Okay, so when we look at Nova's litter, what we've got to expect is how they're going to turn out. So what I thought I'd do is show you a range of our dogs, and they range from 8 years down to 11 months. This is a male, and he's 8 years of age. But we're looking at the morphology, the temperament, and the movement, and the consistency that we achieve. Doesn't matter which combination we're using, we manage to achieve that movement. And I don't expect any different from Nova's litter. And you look at that morphology, that's what I'm expecting out of the next litter, out of this litter with these pups. It's hard to imagine, but this is what our aim is, and that's done through selection. It's consistency in temperament, consistency in health, and consistency in movement. And as I say, I mean, what we're aiming for is, when it comes to temperament, is to have that middle ground all the time. And that's basically our selection process is middle ground. We don't go for the extremes. We work middle ground, and strengthen that middle ground. So next up will be a female. And she's 4 or 5 years of age now, and she's just 8-9 months ago she had a litter of 10 pups. So, and she's coming back into condition now. But again, you're going to see the consistency in temperament, in morphology and movement. And this is why we follow a breed standard, because that movement is so important. It's a herding dog. Okay, so next up will be the female. So this is Honey, and she's getting back into condition. She says she had pups 8-9 months ago, and she's coming back into condition now. And we're looking at that morphology. We're going to look at the movement, the temperament, and that's what we are selecting for all the time, regardless of which female we're using, which male we're using. Is about consistency, is about aiming for that morphology, aiming for that movement, because a dog that moves well is generally going to be quite healthy. That's what it's all about. It's a herding dog, it has a distinct type of movement, and that's what we're aiming for all the time. So the first two dogs we see are the two adults, a male of 8 years and the female, Honey. And you can see when it comes to temperament, they're very, very similar when it comes to the training we're doing, etc., etc., the way we're handling the dogs, the movement, etc., is what we're looking for. And now we're going to see some younger dogs. So this is Electra, and this is the half sister to Nova. So and this is what we're sort of expecting out of the litter. And again, you've got that consistency in movement, morphology and temperament. And that's what we're working with the puppies right now, is that temperament, to get that balance in the first 3 weeks, the handling that we're doing. And the end result, hopefully, should be this. As I say, we have a good consistency when it comes to temperament, when it comes to morphology, when it comes to the movement, and when it comes to the health of the dogs. You have a very, very good consistency there. And that is actually what pedigree breeding is about, consistency. And this is achieved through middle ground all the time. So, this is the half-brother to Nova. And again, morphology and movement and temperament. And he's a lovely young male. So that's what we're aiming for with this litter, somewhere along those lines, and I have no reason to think we won't achieve our goals. It's all about consistency, it's about selection and knowing what we're doing. And it starts right at the beginning with these pups, the way we're handling them, to get that equilibrium. Okay, so the last two dogs we just saw there are actually Nova's half brother and half sister. And again, and that's what the sort of thing we'd be expecting, somewhere along the lines of that. And it all starts here with the handling, getting them used to this. We start from day one. We've got, until they're fully functional online, as it were, it's going to take 3 weeks. So there's a lot that goes into them at the moment as they develop. They become online with their eyes open, their ears open, and we've got many, many different exercises. And when we have a litter of 6, I don't need to be too heavy with the handling, because it's all about the competition. The puppies are competing against each other for life. The handling we're putting on at the moment is very, very gentle, and they're getting used. There we go, we're struggling a bit now. And we use the mother to calm it down, that'll be nice and safe, and we go straight for the tip. So when you have a litter of 10 and you're doing this, they're all going to the tip, they're all going to the neck there. Because it's, for them, it's survival of the fittest. They don't realise that I'm doing a handling exercise. They just think the environment is a little bit dangerous. And we can use the environment to stimulate competition. We can put down or raise up the temperature of the hotbed. We can open the windows. We can make the puppies move around a lot more, burn off the energy, so they're permanently going for the mother all the time to produce competition. That's not what we want. With a smaller litter we would probably do so, but with a larger litter we don't need to. And with a litter of 6 the competition is at a very, very good level. So now the final video of a female, and she's 11 months. Okay, so to finish we have an 11th-month female, and again we're looking at that morphology, we're going to be looking at the movement, looking at the temperament. That's what we're aiming for. That's what I'm doing with the puppies. I'm trying to get this sort of temperament time and time again. The consistency. As I said, when it comes to temperament, when it comes to excitement, you've got the North Pole, South Pole, the equator. What we're aiming for is the equator. And we can move up a notch towards the North Pole. And that is actually what it's all about, is getting that balance that you can work with, because at the end of the day we have to live with these dogs, so we need a temperament we can live with. The dogs like being worked with, and you can see that she's keen, lively, but she's in control of her excitement level. There's a consistency in all these dogs, so it doesn't matter whether it's 11-month-olds or 8 years of age, we have a consistency. And that starts with the puppies. That starts with Nova's litter and all these litters. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And she has a lot of energy, this one. She's here in the morning for the morning walks. So anyway, now back to Nova's litter. Okay, so you've now seen the consistency in movement and morphology, and I don't expect anything less from this litter. We start with our handling, so we're going to have a consistent temperament, the way we're handling the dogs. Everything should fall into place, and as I say, you're looking at the half brother, half sister to this litter, and there's no reason to think there will be any different. So that's our video of the day, one day of age.